So we're in the final, and it's a bit of a relief. We thought we were going to make it 3 out of 3 this week. Right? So, what a difference a week makes, Geoff. What's your reading of the game?
I think we knew in a sort of situation. I think with North West London we felt unlucky. Pens, it can go either way. But last week we felt disappointed. Home semi-final, we'd always felt we could have crossed the line, especially sort of in the form that we were in. So it was disappointing at how it happened as well. It's like three shots on target really. The rest of the game was us. So the boys were down, but again we know what they're capable of in terms of the quality, and we've shown it across the season. Many times being a better opposition. So we just had to set up in a way where we knew we were going to win this game. We know the straight up pitch. We know we've got a very good record in cup games here. So we knew we had to set up a way where we played good enough that we could counteract them. And I think the game plan worked perfectly, especially the first half. In the second half, we knew they were going to come at us and leave holes, and we should have really scored a few more. So credit to the players for listening to a game plan, getting down to it, because the easiest thing could have been lost to you, confidence could have been low, but part of management, that's what we've got to do sometimes, the man management side of things, getting them up, getting them ready, and putting a performance in. The fans, as we said all week, they deserve a day out, so we're just happy we can provide that.
Charlie, goal scorer today as well, right? How much do you remember of the goal? Because you weren't facing it.
Yeah, I think I was lying on the floor with my back to the goal, and somehow it hit my bum and went in. So,
one of your best goals.
I think it's probably my best goal for Clapton. Competitively. I don't remember much of the start. I think we've said quite a few times. We have quite a lot of scrambles in the box. Obviously, Briggs on the set pieces, they always put it in a good area. So we have a lot of we win the first ball, but very rarely end up in the back of the net. So it's nice to one get smashed against my arse and go in. You'll take it in a semi-final. I'm not going to complain, but I think as Geoff said, we were all kind of wanting to, after the last couple of weeks, just kind of go back to basics a little bit and just do whatever was needed to win that game. And so it wasn't the prettiest way of doing it. My goal, if we're going to call it that, was a bit of a symbol of that. But you just got to win these games by hook or by crook. So.
Well, if you're talking about kind of symbols, what's the difference between this week and last week then, apart from the result?
Not entirely sure. I mean, we were scratching our heads slightly after the game last week. Obviously, we went down early from a mistake, for myself, slipping on a tricky pitch, but we've never really had the fire to really put pressure on them, to dominate them in the way that we should have done last week. And I think this week, we had a bit of a chat training, not chat after the game last week, and today it's there's no mucking about today. It's professional business like job. The warm-up was good, everyone's kind of focused from the get-go, and we just thought, we know if we impose ourselves on teams in this league, then we'll win games. So it's just do the basics right, and then our talent will shine through and so improve and win.
Yeah, Richie, your first interview.
Camera shy.
You're camera shy, but the dog loved you.
Yeah, good little bite there from the dog. The ref didn't give a foul.
But in terms of kind of the performance, rate the team's performance, and then I asked you to compare it against last week.
I thought it was pretty faultless, really. We had a couple of scary moments, but I thought it was quite comfortable. They didn't really have much as the long balls over the top. We said the first half was against the wind. So that helped us. Got us a scrappy goal. Geoff said to us before the game, going up to half time with a clean sheet. We did that, and we scored, which was a bonus. And he said, second half, we'll take a scrappy goal. Charlie, great finish. And compared to last week, it was a completely different performance. I don't know if it's mentality or...
We set up more cautiously, didn't we?
Yeah.
Didn't get caught out on the counter, which was the fault where we saw, because a lot of the times players were rushing forward, not scanning, looking back, and that's what we kind of put it forward, especially the goal we conceded last week. We put it into the players group and say, look, we need to learn. There's a similar goal we conceded against North West London. It's about learning. If we don't learn, then that means we're not taking things on board, and then as management we've got to look at it and say, well, we've got a players group which is a bit naive. So it's very important that they took what was required on board, and that's what was required in the lineup today. We went with a sort of a more experienced lineup, if we're honest with you, so we knew that we could follow our instructions, and if it wasn't going well, we could still stick in the game. But sometimes I think we do have a confidence issue. Sometimes we go a goal down, sometimes we are looking at the leaders to kind of get us out of trouble. So today was exactly what was required. Everyone did exactly what was asked of them, and that's what happens when you follow a game plan to a team, we'll win most weeks.
Okay, Geoff, when you say kind of game plan, there was a game plan last week as well.
Yeah.
Right? But that game plan didn't work, but today did. But the team seems to blow hot and cold. You know, one week it comes out fired, but it needs a kind of a failure the week before. What's happening here?
I think sometimes it's form. I mean, if you look at sort of the performances individually last week and this week, there's a difference. So again, that's where the sort of foundations are. Because in any sort of game, regardless of tactical, play, individually you've got to win your battles. You've got to do exactly what's required for you. Last week we had a game plan in terms of to get the ball wide and deliver, and that's where we could have beaten them because they were very on the big pitch. That's where we've got some of the best young wide players I think in our level. So it didn't work out, so then it becomes a scrap, and I think the conditions last week suited them, where maybe this week the conditions sort of went in our favour, and sometimes that's football, so you do have to adjust. So I think that played a big part in it as well. Disrespect to the police, and they did play well to the conditions, but let's say if that game's on like a 4G, I think we would have won that game quite easily. So these things happen sometimes. You just got to try and adjust and play to the conditions, and sometimes these things work for you and sometimes they go against you. But we knew what we had this week, and we knew it was win at all costs, and that's what I told them. Doesn't matter how we do it, win at all costs, and we're into the fight.
Charlie, in terms of kind of playing at the back, it's kind of a bit of a shift, isn't it, from the marauding midfielder gets into the box and scores. He's got a drink problem, hasn't he?
Need new balls.
Right. How does it feel kind of to be involved at the back and you watch the game unfolding in front of you? How does that kind of change your game?
I've played there quite a lot, to be fair. Yeah, it's as a centre back, obviously, as you say, the whole game's in front of you. And that was another thing, actually, a detail between Dino and I, and the two centre backs, kind of saying, look, so long as we keep the game in front of us, we know that we're kind of in a stable position. We don't need to go out and win it into the midfield. So I think we did a couple of times in the last couple of games. We can see the goals that way. My point of view, look, you can see the whole pitch, you can see things unfold. So long as the ball's not like flying up over your head and you're letting it bounce in a way that I did last week to concede a goal, then I really enjoy playing like that because you get time and space to pick passes and you can influence the game in a kind of proactive, positive way as well as doing a defender as well.
You are essentially whenever that starts the play off, and you can decide which side the ball's going to go, and you can decide the momentum of it, and it's not always there's another option instead of just giving it to Briggsy and then decide where it goes. Has that changed the style of the way we play?
I mean, I think we've always tried to play that way, to be fair, and we have technicians in the two or three central midfield positions, we've got real technical players in there. We want to play out through those players, we want to play out through them into wingers and that sort of thing, so I don't think it's necessarily changed our style so much. It feels maybe like we've hit on a bit of kind of stability potentially, and trying to avoid making too many changes to lineups and that sort of thing, which has a benefit. But if you look at the performance today of these two here and Samba in front of the back four, that's everything you can hope for at the back line, because they relieve the pressure on you. You know that they can take the ball in a different situation and play around corners and retain possession in a important way. So we've always tried to play that way, and sometimes it works well, and at the moment I think it is.
In terms of kind of playing out, there is you notice something when you get the ball, the opposition drops very quickly, like they know what your play is. And how are you responding to that?
Well, it's kind of giving other players freedom, so they're going to think I'm going to get on the ball, and I can give players like Geoff, Charlie, play that ball instead, you're not going to expect it to come from them. So it's kind of used me as a decoy as well, which I don't mind. Helps the team. Charlie, Geoff, get on the ball, get shown quick passes early.
Could you rate Samba's kind of swing into the goal, from a corner?
I didn't see that, to be honest. I was sitting down.
I don't think he meant it. I think he tried to say that he meant it after he pulled it off, but I don't think.
I see he shot one off the keeper, at least he hit the target this time. He's getting closer and closer. He said he saved it for the final, so.
Look, one thing that we've not talked about, how does it feel like to be in the final?
Yeah, it was
As we always end by shout out to the fans.
Yeah, as always, they can hear them behind, you know, have a drum and bass race behind
This
us.
is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes after the game is finished.
That's it. It was for them, and I think we said it individually. Let's do it for us, but more importantly for them. 2 disappointments, you know. It's about time we wanted to kind of give them something to cheer and something to look forward to as well. The whole season, you know, it's been up and down as you say, but it's great to something to put in the diary. And you know, with finals, you get people travelling from all sorts, from Scotland, Ireland, you know, they'll make it, you know, exception to come down. So it's very important, I think, the day out. Sometimes, it's funny enough, you say the same final is maybe more important than the final because it's a day out. The final, you can lose, it can happen, but, you know, getting a day out for the fans, collective, seeing familiar faces again, that's what it was about. So, again, they cheered us on, you know, second half, through this vital moments, you know, the crowd was always there for us. So, we appreciate the support as always, you know, we donate this to them, and also to Stu for making today. So, you know, the win's for them.
And we just want to ask you about this, Stu. Was the England team short of players?
Stu's quite handy. You've seen it in the Vets game.
Stu's got to take lead, honestly, he can play.
So,
Yes, Stu, they're bigging you up, man. Right, isn't there?
Can't wear that cap the next time he comes.
Okay.
yeah, the old school reunion game gets Stu involved.
Okay, look, congratulations on making it in the final. And now we've got to go out and win it, right? But where do we go from here?
We always go again. Always
Yeah.
go again. That's the phrase.
We're going against you. Okay, thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys.
Take care.